feedback, and then we'll jump into questions.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank all of our fans for coming out for the Gold Out, creating an elite environment for our student athletes, and what an environment it was. Braving the elements, especially pushed back with the delay. So I just want to say thank you to all of our student body. Welcome all the freshmen. Appreciate all the support from all of our fans. I mean, the Gold Out looked great, and you're talking about an hour delay and the weather that was going on today. So just can't thank them enough. Second, you got to give North Carolina a lot of credit. Those are two really evenly matched teams, in my opinion. Went back and forth, and that's the type of game you wish you could play just 60 more minutes, because it's such a great game. I told our team at the very end, this is a team loss, period. This isn't lost by one person. This isn't lost by one play. We had a lot of opportunities on offense and defense and special teams, just like they did. There's going to be a lot of plays that North Carolina want back, we want back. This is where you grow the most. And, I'm really proud of our team's resolve and their fight and what they were able to do to come back the way they did, and especially when I think everybody thought we were kind of down and out and couldn't get anything going, and then bang, we got things going. Had a great defensive stop, went right down the field. Unfortunately, there were a lot of things that happened tonight that are uncharacteristic of our football teams, with some penalties and some crucial situations. And a lot of them are hustle mistakes, the ones that cost us the most. And I can live with those things, but it's the other things that really kind of bite you. So, but they were untimely for sure for us. And, I told them, I said, this is a long season though. And, last year we're sitting here, same type of yardage, and we're 1-0, and same type of situation, and we're 0-1. But this is where you grow the most as a football team. I don't believe in you grow the most from game 1 to 2. I think you grow every game. But we wanted to be 1-0 tonight. We weren't. We're 0-1 just for tonight, and then we'll move on. And we'll look to hopefully be 1-0 next week and get better and get back to a lot of our basics and get our football team better. So with that, open up questions.
PJ, were there any commonalities in some of the miscues and issues that you had to kind of consistently get going?
Are you talking about the penalty part or the execution piece?
Both.
Just on offense? Are you talking about offense? Yeah, I think you got to give North Carolina some credit on that. I think game 1, you're feeling each other out pretty good, especially at the beginning. You've got new defensive coordinators on both sides, and I think that you got to give both coordinators credit for creating a lot of chaos on both sides. I think we went pretty simple as we got towards that middle of that second quarter, and you saw us be able to run a little bit more of the inside zones and the outside zones, and I think that settled our guys down a little bit. And if you got right back to like day 1 install basic, and we were able to do some things there, which was good. I thought that, we couldn't get our defense off in the second half. And, it's hard to be able to get into a rhythm when you're 3 and out and then you have, 4 plays in the third quarter. I mean, that's what we're usually doing on the other side. But when you feel it on the other side, that's what's damaging. But I'm really proud of the resolve in the last drive of being able to get that ball down the field the way they did, give us an opportunity, even after the holding call, get us right back in it. And I thought our defense played incredibly hard. The problem was, in my opinion, is first to second down in the run game. We gave too much up, and 4 yards, 5 yards, and then it was second and manageable, second and 4, second and 5, and next thing you know, it's 3rd and 1, and Amarian, he just falls forward. He's got huge legs and falls forward for a first down, and we just couldn't get off the field, and that ultimately cost us multiple field goals. Got to give their kid a lot of credit. Made a lot of kicks tonight, and a lot of tough situations, and got to give them credit. So. Again, we got a lot to learn. Got to, continue to grow up and continue to get better, and we will.
First half, did you feel your offense responded to the way the defense was getting off the field then with the interception?
Yeah, I think that every play is its own entity, and every play is it's its own play in itself. And we do everything we can not to sit there and say, hey, we rely on momentum. You know me, I don't believe in that. Every play is its own play. And you get to create whatever you want on that particular play. So it was just we couldn't get off the field on defense, Randy, and we just weren't executing well enough on offense. Whether it was whether we had a drop or whether we had pressure or whether we got out of the we fumbled. There were some things we were doing that that we can't do to win football games, and we did those. And you touch the stove enough, you're going to get burned.
PJ, speaking of that defensive coordinator, their new one,
yep.
They did stunt a lot. Was that a surprise at all?
Are you talking about North Carolina? Yeah, they moved a lot. I mean, they had a lot of people in the box. They were bringing them from everywhere. You know, they're really good. You saw them. They're big up front. They're big. They're athletic. They got everybody back. You all know that. I mean, I think they had 7 of the 8 up front guys back, and they're tough to move. They're really athletic. They can not only just muscle you, but they can get around blocks really quickly, and you start getting them laterally, and you start getting them stunting, and then you're bringing a safety down in the boxes with it. I mean, you know, they created some issues for us, and I thought we made some really good adjustments. But we needed to be able to throw the football. And that last drive, I was really proud that we were able to do that and get the ball down the field. And just too many things that if you do, you're going to get beat. And uncharacteristic things that we did tonight that allowed us to get beat.
You've coached a lot of football games. Where does tonight rank among the ones with the most amount of missed opportunities?
I'm not here to compare it, to be honest, Ryan. I'm not here to compare it to other games. I mean, every game's its own entity, just like each play. Tonight, we didn't do enough to win the football game, period. Close losses are really hard to swallow, but I've coached a lot of football too, Ryan, where blowouts are really hard to swallow too. Those are, when you get beat pretty good, that's a tough pill to swallow. So any type of loss is really hard on a football team because you put so much into it. And we had every opportunity to keep doing it. And it's there, and we just didn't take advantage of it enough. But, they're all painful. But 24 hours, we're going to make sure that we digest this and learn from it, and then we will move on. And we look forward to Rhode Island.
PJ, I want to ask about one play in particular. End of the first quarter, 3rd and goal at the 10. Kick Daniel Jackson out, run to Marcus Major. Walk us through kind of the thought process on that one.
Oh, defensively, in terms of what they were going to do and what package they were going to be in, we felt like we had a really good opportunity. Again, we're not just going to, just because we're at the 9 doesn't mean the best play's not a run in a certain position. It's not mean, we're just playing it safe. We're not. I mean, we threw the football a lot. We also threw the football and got sacked. We threw the football and got a lot of pressure on us. There's a lot of times in a close game, points matter. And I'm going off based on what I feel we can do and what we're not able to do and what's the best situation and what's the best call in that particular situation by what's being shown. And that's what we're all doing, and that's coaching. I mean, you're making the best decision that you can possibly make at that particular time of the game. You're always going to go back as a head coach. Look at all the calls. Look at everything offensively, defensively, special teams, of how we as coordinators and head coaches can grow too, about where we have to grow the most and how we can make our team better.
You talked about Amari Hampton on the other side, where he's able to make people miss, break tackles with his legs. Kind of not having Darius Taylor today, in those sense that he can break those tackles, make the extra man miss. How close is he, and is there a specific type of injury that he has, and is he close to being?
Oh, he's really close. He was really close from being out there. But I don't make those decisions. I support him 100%. I don't make them. We have a whole medical staff that makes all those things. I know he was disappointed and he really wants to go, but our medical staff always has our players, best interest at heart, and they're going to make those decisions. But he'll be ready very soon. I think there was a combination of Amarian's a really good tailback. I think when we go back through the film, we missed a lot of tackles. We were diving a little bit more than we needed to. We were hitting up high when we should have went low, hitting low when we probably should have went high. There's going to be some things that we see on film with that. I thought we could have done a better job of tackling. I thought they did a better job of tackling in a lot of areas than we did. So we got to grow.
DJ, when it comes to your red zone execution today, what did you not like from what you saw, like in terms of settling for field goal attempts and not punching it? Like, what wasn't working in the red zone tonight?
A few things. I mean, you're going to go. I'm going to go back and look at the film. To be really honest with you, that's a hard question for me to answer, not seeing the whole thing, but you're seeing it on tablets, spacing, we got some pressure, what we're seeing, I'll have to go back and look at it, but we didn't execute, I do know that. But they didn't execute too, and they settled for a lot of field goals. They just made more than we did.
One or two more for Coach Andy. How do you assess Max's debut?
I thought that, if I'm being honest, I think it took him a little bit to settle in, but once he settled in, he looked like the guy that I've seen for a long time. And I would have loved for, everything to go a little bit better for everybody. But I saw a lot of things that I've seen for a long time. And he's a really good kid, a really good quarterback, got great character. And I thought he showed a lot of moments like that. And, so he's got to get better. He knows that. we got to get him better. But I loved his leadership, and he's a competitor. He really is. And but there's some things that we got to get better, of course. But just got to keep getting better.
Mixed in numerous blitzes on third down with Coach Heatherman kind of speeding up the new quarterbacks, both Harrell and Johnson. Was that a kind of the game plan going in?
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, we felt like we didn't know which one we were going to see. We knew we'd see both at some point. Unfortunately, with Max's injury, hope he's okay, and we send our thoughts and prayers to him. And but that was the whole thing. We wanted to be able to create some chaos, and we didn't know which one we were going to be able to see. But if we let those two sit back there and just pick defenses apart, I mean, we were going to give up a lot of points. But I thought we called a really good game on defense. We just gave up too many on the first and second down run game early in the second half, and that was unfortunate. So we were out there a little bit too long. I mean, I think the time of possession's equal, but it felt like we were on the field a lot longer than they were.
Final one for Coach, or is everyone else set?
What do you think of the way Marcus Major ran?
I thought he ran really hard. I think we've got some really good tailbacks here. I'm really excited about the stable that we have, including getting Darius back. I feel really good about where we're at that position. I thought he ran really hard. I think he's an exceptional back, really good person, great worker. And again, I mean, you do a few things right, and we have a different, feel in this press conference. And, but you don't, and you get to be on the other side of it. And those are the hard pills to swallow. So as a whole, again, team loss. We didn't play well enough to win tonight. North Carolina made one more play than we did, and we had our opportunities, But I do know this character of this football team. I do know these young men, and they're going to bounce back. I know that.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Roll the boat, Sky Mo. Go Gophers. Thank you.
No, we've got to be down here. You want three mics or just?
For student athletes, I'm expecting Max Brosmer, Marcus Major, Mr. Walley, and Cody Lindenberg. We'll start with Marcus Major. Once Marcus takes a seat, we'll go ahead and jump into questions.
Marcus, when did you realize that Darius wasn't going to be able to play, and you knew that you kind of would have the line last year that carries tonight?
It was really the week before, but that didn't change anything, for me. I just knew I had to come in, and step up.
You set a new career high in carries tonight. Did you feel it a little bit more as the game went on?
Yeah, I did. Kind of started off a little slow, just getting the feel of the game in the beginning of it, but we got to a rhythm, but we got a lot of more to work on, so.
Marcus, North Carolina is really mixing things up a lot, sending different guys from different spots. What type of challenge does that create for run game identification, things like that?
It's really difficult because they had a lot of blitz coming at us, so we just had to adjust, settle down. We wasn't used to seeing that kind of look, the looks they was giving us, but as the game was going, we kind of settled down, and we got rolling.
Marcus, I know you're new here, but how much does this sting to kind of lose in this fashion?
It stings, nobody likes losing, so I mean it's a tough feeling, but I mean we know we can do though. We know we can be better. We know that wasn't our expectations. The first one we wanted to come out and win, but we can't let that keep our heads low. So we just got to keep our heads up, and keep moving to the next game.
Marcus, what did you see on the play where Lemecki had the big game, then dropped it, and you got it? Did it just pop in your hands?
Yeah, it was just right in there. Coach always tells us about chasing the ball. You never know what's going to happen. So I was just right there with it, and I had my dog back.
Marcus, what was the attitude of the offensive huddle on the last drive?
Say again.
The offensive huddle on the last drive. What was the mood in the huddle?
We were just taking the play-by-play. We didn't want to get ahead of ourselves. And just go right after and go right for the big play. We just needed to settle down on that, but it was a pretty good drive, that last drive though, until the end.
What did it feel like crossing the goal line for the first time for your first touchdown in the Gophers?
It felt wonderful. The fans gave an amazing energy, but it felt amazing. The guys up front was moving the pile, so I mean it was just good things from them. So.
What did you feel like were the issues in the third quarter of being able to stay on the field?
Yeah, it was just the mistakes. We had a lot of mistakes that we can't make, and we know that we can't make. But this is the first game. This don't define it. Who we are. We know we're gonna come back from this, and it's gonna be better.
Any more for Marcus? All right, thank you, Marcus.
Appreciate it.
Well, Max, if you're going.
I can take this water.
But it's what official. Are you calling it? Announce so. Incorrect. Praise first of all.
Justin Walley here. He's going to take a seat in the far chair. So, as Justin grabs a seat, we'll jump into questions.
Justin, it seemed like defensively it was just kind of some self-inflicted things that kind of set you guys back. How did you feel in that?
Pretty much felt the same way. I know it wasn't the cleanest game on our end. And just get back in tomorrow, watch the film, and get better.
Justin, what did you see on your interception?
I just played my technique, trusted what the coaches taught me, and the ball was there. I just made a play on the ball, got some good block from my teammates, and did what I could with it.
Did you have any offensive background, high school, or like when you were very young at least?
Well, I played running back my whole life until I started getting recruited for corner. So up until like my junior year, I was always running back.
You talked about kind of rushing yards allowed on first down, really setting you back. What was Amari Hampton doing and North Carolina doing so well early downs?
Well, I just think we wasn't as detailed on defense, and that comes with it. We just come back in tomorrow, like I said, and see where we messed up at and get better from it.
Justin, you're a leader on this team. You've been here a while now. What do you say to the guys in the locker room after a game like that, in a game where you probably feel like was within your grasp?
Well, we know what type of team we are, and that was the whole message. And we know we kind of beat ourselves for the most part. And we just got to tell it, keep everybody heads up. No, it's just one game, and the goals want to know next week.
How'd you kind of rally that group? Obviously, we saw that Darius was out in the secondary Darius screen, and then Johnson McMillan went down part of the game as well. Just how'd you kind of rally that secondary that's kind of got banged up a bit?
Well, we had a lot of guys through camp and spring ball that's been taking reps, so we're confident that we had depth, and the guys, the backups, we had all the faith in them to come in and play. So we didn't really have to rally nobody up. The guys just stepped up and ready to play.
Justin, what kind of happened on that drive that led to them taking the lead with the field? It seemed like two quick chunk plays, and all of a sudden they're in your guys' territory. Can you kind of walk us through that drive and how they were able to get downfield so quick?
For the most part, I just say lack of details. I know on my end, I had a play where I wasn't the most detailed, and like the whole game, we just lacked details in certain areas, and that was a crucial moment. That drive really needed it, but it just comes down to details and executing. We didn't really execute in that drive.
Just to clarify, that was the 30-yard completion.
Yes, yeah.
When you see the pass rush kind of getting after the quarterback as much, how much did that help you guys on the back end?
Helps us out a lot. When you ain't got to cover for a long time, the quarterback, his reads get blurry, so it makes our job a lot easier on the back end.
Any more for Justin?
Thank you.
Thank you. We have Max ready.
This should help us balance things. D2, Sioux Falls, 34. St. Thomas, 13.
34-30 Sioux Falls.
34-13.
Fine. And that's with all Kale on the board.
For the last decade.
Brosmer, Cody Lindenberg. Once they take a seat, we'll jump into questions.
Max, how did you feel when the game started and then kind of as it progressed, your kind of comfort level out there?
Yeah, it was a very unique experience with the transition with the guys, and I did my best to take it all in with the team, and I felt like they supported kind of me throughout the initial part of that game, and I love playing with these guys. It's again I one of my favorite teams I've ever been a part of, and I can't wait to continue to compete throughout the rest of this year.
Max, what did you tell them on the last drive when that started?
Say it again.
What did you tell your teammates on that last drive?
Yeah, going into the drive, you kind of just let the guys know, like, hey, this is going to be the situation, guys. Be prepared for a 2-minute drive to go win it. That's the mentality you have to go into it. If you're like, I hope we get a stop here. You have to, as an offense, you want the ball in your hands to win the game. And I thought the guys did a really good job, rallying together. And guys made plays, around the whole field, and that's testament to them and how they battle. And again, it goes back to why I love playing with this team. And these guys just love playing football, and they battle, and they're I'm proud to play with them.
Max, North Carolina was really mixing pressure from different spots.
Yeah.
Changing a lot of presentations. How big of a challenge was it to process pre and post snap?
Yeah.
Kind of make adjustments as the game went on.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. It was fun. Getting different looks, and it's a mental battle for sure every single play, which is a testament, to their defensive coordinator Jeff Collins, and their players on defense. Really athletic people, and can make plays all over the field. They did a really good job disguising coverage and playing their style of defense. So we had a good time doing it, and again, it's all a mental battle, and that's what football is.
Max, how would you describe the passing game just in general tonight?
Yeah, I thought we would love to be more efficient in the pass game. I thought that from both sides, I think I have to do a way better job putting the ball where it needs to be for the guys. I thought the guys did a really good job getting open today, and but as an effort, I thought pass protection was very, very efficient today. It was very good today, and just as a unit, we got to do better. And I can't wait to see where it goes the rest of the season.
Cody, how tough was it to bring Hampton down?
Yeah, he's a really good back, good strong back, low center of gravity. So you hit that guy, you got to wrap up, you got to run your feet, keep your head up. It's a lot of things go into that. It's good strong back. He was in pretty much the whole game. So testament to that guy, that great athlete. So he's in there and not getting tired, allowing himself to play the whole game. So great athlete. So those things that really will go into bringing a guy like that down.
Cody, Justin was up here talking about the lack of details at times on defense. How did you feel like it went tonight?
Yeah, I would agree. There's I would also say that there's a lot of good on that film as well. I hope everyone is able to see that as well. But yeah, there was a lot of times where maybe someone's not in their gap. There's a penalty here, penalty there, and those are things that once we clean up, I think we played a very clean game outside of that. So it's those little details that once we clean up, we are and we will continue to be an elite defense. Again, I hope everybody sees that. But within these four walls, we believe truly in each other, and that obviously losing, nobody enjoys that, nobody plans on that. But this is where we can look in the mirror, look at ourselves, and really see what we can learn, what we can get better at. Obviously learn a lot from winning, but I think really when you have opportunities like this, you have to look at it as an opportunity to grow and learn. You can't go and put your head down, and none of that was happening tonight. And we're just excited tomorrow morning to get back and learn a lot from that tape.
Cody, firsthand what it's like with Dragon making a kick to win a game, and seeing Gophers last year. What do you say to him after a tough one tonight?
I love you. It's that simple. It's none of that game is on him. There's plenty of plays defensively, offensively, special teams. It's a team effort. There's no one play that loses you a game, right? I told him right when we got off the field, like, hey, don't even think about that right now. Like, keep your head up. It's plenty of things that could have went a different way, right? So that honestly, the first thing I said to him, I love you. Keep your head up, right? So I couldn't be more proud of him and the way that he's going to respond. I know the type of character that he has, so I'm excited to see the rest of the season for that guy.
Max, BJ was talking about how it looked like it took a couple minutes to kind of settle in for you. When you're in a new conference, a new quarterback, a new program, how much do you view like the first game as kind of like a crash course for yourself? How do you fairly kind of use a barometer for yourself
Yeah, I think you try to set the standard before the game too. With I'm going against a really talented and skillful defense every single day. You kind of try to set that level of what it's going to feel like, and that's all you can compare it to really is before you go into the game. I was just joking. I told Keegan, I was like, we're not in Kansas anymore, and I remember seeing the whole environment is completely different. It's a fun challenge, I think, as any new player in any new conference, but especially in the Big Ten. It's definitely, there's an adjustment period that gets created. And I think, the guys who have done it before, that those are people who I'll lean on, who can say, how it works throughout the season. And, I'm going to do my ultimate best to continue to put the best product on the field with the team, and just grow from this loss.
Max, we saw the chemistry with you and Daniel Jackson throughout the game, and then that anticipation on that throw to Elijah for 20 yards on that last drive. Just is that the experience kind of, and like the bond you've built with your receivers over the offseason? Yeah, I think all the positive plays we had today were, and negative plays, but all the positive plays today that were shown on the field, that comes from hours and hours of work before the game starts. There's always going to be negative plays. There's going to be positive plays. There's going to be pretty neutral plays as well, and a lot of that comes with how we battle as well. I think that chemistry comes with making plays when it counts, but also when we need it to count too, before the 2-minute drive starts, and the mentality going into it. And I think all that stuff goes into the chemistry that's built off the field, in the film room, in the weight room, et cetera.
Cody, what do you notice about playing in this defense with Corey now as opposed to playing it with Joe? Anything stand out to you after one game or in practicing now with Corey for all this time? What stands out to you playing in this type of defense with him instead of Joe?
I think just the speed that the guys are able to run around and play with. I think that you can see on the film how fast and free guys are able to move around on that field. There's not as much thinking. There's not as much, wondering what I got to do on this play. It's because as soon as you got to think about what you got to do, you're a step behind. You're reacting, obviously, first off, defense is reacting off what the offense does. So if I have to think about what my job is after the ball is snapped, that guy's got 2-3 steps in the ground, and I'm 2-3 yards behind him. So it's got to be a click. I don't have to think about what I have to do anymore. And I think that shows with the guys on the field today how fast you're able to run around, and the speed at which guys understand what they have to do and how they have to get there. So I would say the speed at which guys are allowed to play at.
Cody, you were moving around a little bit, mugging, and then overload fronts and some of the stuff you were able to do. How much of a difference did you think those packages made in a few spots to get some pressure?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just anything that we can do to tweak a look, tweak a front, to confuse that quarterback's eyes. Anything that we can do, it's great for us as a defense. And then we play a lot of great quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks we played are great quarterbacks today. And the more we can give them different looks, the more that we can confuse them to allow us to not let them see what we're in, is obviously a benefit to the defense. So anything that we can do is we're going to do it.
Max, did you think you kind of found your rhythm kind of on that last drive in terms of the passing game?
I'm not sure exactly when I would say anything clicks. I think there's kind of moments of gradual ups and downs in any line you continue to take, and I think it's just a matter of continuing to keep pushing forward. I think there's the elite people per se are able to continue to battle through times of extreme adversity, but also continue to keep a level head in times of great success and joy, and that's what this team represents. And I try my best to embody what this team represents, and having the offensive guys around me and the whole team that truly embody that same ideology. It's just the ultimate team, I think.
Any more questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.